What is going on, guys? Your boy Joe SHAKESQUAD coming, guys, with a video right now. So some updates on the Philadelphia Eagles and some things I want to talk about that are pretty important. Obviously, got a little bit more time until training camp with the Philadelphia Eagles, and a lot more coming. So let's get straight into it. So July 26th is the date that we're waiting for. And I think, half the fan base is not mad, but I think when it comes to not having minicamp, there's some people that are against it. And me, I'm very half and half on it because I think with so many new faces and how young this team is right now, have a lot of these guys in the building. Even though if you're not going to go 100%, you're not going to I'm not saying they're going to do drills 100%, but at least that mentorship, at least you have guys that are just in the building and ready to go, and, just being around each other definitely does help. So I'm like half and half on them being at minicamp and not being at minicamp. I understand with the, it's more of the injuries, and, they don't want more injuries to occur, or any injuries to occur, I should say, as of right now. But I feel like, it depends what these guys are doing between, after OTAs was over until training camp, July 26th. So it's a lot of time, and they have to be careful in what they're doing. And, I feel like you can get more injuries, just say, I'm not saying these guys are not going to work out or do anything from OTAs till July 26th, but there's always something to say when you have a young team and you want to get these guys together. And like I said, the mentorship and, just being in the room, you know what I mean? So I think that's something to really, think about. But it is what it is. I'm not really against it too much. I mean, I'm half and half on it. But and then first of all, I mean, with Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis, I mean, you saw them, this was at OTAs, and look at Jordan Davis compared to Fletcher Cox. It's ridiculous. And Fletcher Cox could be that guy that could be very selfish, and knowing that he's only going to be here for 1 year, that he's not going to be extended. Like, this is going to be the last year in Philadelphia, unless Fletch has some type of monster year and he takes a pay cut to stay here next year. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what the case is with Fletch, but I mean, two down years. And, I think part of it is the scheme. Part of it is, I don't think, Jonathan Gannon, didn't use him the right way. And, Fletcher Cox, had to go up to Jonathan Gannon, or some type of defensive players. A few defensive players had to go up to Jonathan Gannon during the year on how to use them in his system. I think Fletch was very pissed off about that. And, I'm really glad he's not being selfish, and he's going to mentor, Jordan Davis, and has been mentoring him to make him better. I think that's a really good thing. I mean, he could sit there and be very to himself and not care and just worry about himself. And, obviously he wants to play well because he's a starter, in the first string defensive tackle, but this is passing the torch pretty much. I mean, Jordan Davis, I think Fletch knows that Jordan Davis is going to take his spot after this year, and that's the way that's going to go. So I think with Fletch, will have a good year this year. I mean, I'm hoping he does. Hopefully and I think it's really up to Jonathan Gannon. It's up to Tracy Rocker, defensive line coach, and I think there's a lot of hot seat, components to this offseason with these coaches. I think Tracy Rocker's definitely on that list, getting these guys prepared every single week. I think it's Jonathan Gannon's definitely on the hot seat. As a lot of I've heard news that he might not be, but I don't see why he isn't. Last year I gave him a pass because of just, he's a first-year defensive coordinator, and, for the scheme that he wanted, this hybrid scheme, 4-3, 3-4, disguising coverages, I mean, he just couldn't do it with the players that he had. So I don't know why he did it, with the players. I don't know why he even tried to do this hybrid defense last year. If he didn't really have the players for it, and the adjustments in the second half were just so horrible. We just couldn't stand tight with anybody. So I'm excited for this defense this year, especially with the defensive line. Obviously, Jordan Davis is probably my favorite player from the draft, just because I'm a big defensive line guy, and I was saying that Jordan Davis will be in the Philadelphia Eagles uniform come the draft, and it happened. And I don't care about the picks that we gave up for him. I think he was well worth it, because this time next year we're gonna be saying, "Holy crap, Jordan frickin' Davis has arrived." I think he's gonna arrive this year as well. I think they're gonna use him. I think they're gonna He's going to be very violent. They're going to move him. They might move him around a little bit. I mean, Gannon's not going to give away his game plan. No coaches give away their game plans in the offseason because they don't want to give too much away. But they're going to pin his ears back and let him attack. And I think that's what's really important right now. And that's pretty much it. I'm excited. I mean, Fletcher Cox is not a selfish guy and ready to mentor this guy, especially throughout training camp, and should be a lot of fun to watch. And then you talk about Jalen Hurts, and I think it was the quote from Jalen Hurts that I really did like, and because I know that Jalen Hurts is all about the team first before really anything. Which I think is cool. So he said, it's my job to go out there and play point guard, distribute the ball, get the playmakers the ball, and my plays will come. So not really about his own statistics, which I really do like. And, yeah, he's got to let the offense work for him. And they have to open this playbook. They can't just do read options and RPOs. They have to, add in some play action. I think they're going to pass just a little tiny bit more than they ran last year just because you have A.J. Brown now. You know what I mean? You have Quez Watkins in the slot, Devontae Smith, Zach Pascal. I mean, who knows if Rager's going to be here and all that other news that we always talk about every day. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, did he get better? Did going to all these QB gurus like Tom House, Quincy Avery, and a few other guys, did it really help? I mean, I definitely saw a difference, in the way he's throwing the ball, but, are the scrimmages really going to matter? Are the scrimmages going to be way too much? Is it, he's not getting tackled. He's not getting sacked in the backfield. He's going to be able to throw every single time. You know what I mean? So you got to take some of these scrimmages with a grain of salt when, especially when we play Miami, and it's going to be a really good scrimmage. I think we match up very well. Two quarterbacks, Tua, Jalen Hurts, two guys that are pretty much in the same position when it comes to, the coach, the front office said, I just gave you weapons and, this is it for you. Like, if you don't, make this happen, then, you're not going to be the future of this team. I think that really comes to both quarterbacks, and obviously both quarterbacks play together at Alabama. So it should be a lot of fun with Tyreek Hill and some of these other guys, Xavier Howard coming in as well. So there's a lot of competition. I think, like I said, with the Miami Dolphins, we match up really well for these scrimmages. And like I said, you got to take a lot of these scrimmages with a grain of salt, and certain positions with a grain of salt, just because, we believed a lot of things last year, and it didn't turn out that way. Jalen Reagor caught a lot of passes and didn't really do anything for us this year with only like a little over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. But at the same time, like, Jalen Hurts actually has a full off season with this team, and especially there's definitely more chemistry with the wide receivers, just because even when Jalen Hurts was here in 2020, those times, were not great off seasons. It was more virtual stuff. You weren't with the team. You couldn't really bond with the team. You couldn't really be near players at all, since the outside world was so messed up at that time, which is kind of crazy. But I have a lot of faith in Jalen Hurts to get it done this year. Like I said, the guy doesn't need to throw over 4,000 yards, but I think if he had 3,800 yards, 28 to 35 touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, I mean, more of a patient in the pocket, anticipation on throws, just releasing that ball and not overthrowing, underthrowing, and, just going, not really being that one read type quarterback. I think you have something really good with Jalen Hurts, where he is, when it comes to his mentality and it comes to his work effort and it comes to all that, I have no problem with it. I mean, it's off the charts, because when I worry about his mindset, I'm far from it, because I think he's shown us that he is a hard worker, but his mentality needs to match his play, and that's what we're kind of seeing here. And I think it's a crappy situation for Jalen Hurts, because he was thrown to the fire in 2020, and then obviously with the virus and everything happened, and I think it affected a lot of teams. I mean, I'm not making it an excuse, but it definitely affected a lot of teams' off seasons. I think it definitely affected our team a lot. And then go last year, I thought he got a lot better at the end of the year last year. Still a lot of still some flaws, but I have no problem saying anything good about Jalen Hurts or anything bad about Jalen Hurts, because this is what I do. I critique Jalen Hurts. I critique Jalen Hurts because I want him to be better. I don't do it to hate him. I don't do it to do any of that. But I think with the chemistry with A.J. Brown, I think with all the connections that he has, whether, played with Devontae Smith at Alabama, played with, him and A.J. Brown are best friends, have been working out every offseason. Brian Johnson being his quarterback coach, Grant Calcaterra, drafted in the 6th round. He played with him in Oklahoma in 2019. I think there's just so many players, just the connections he has. I think this is just perfect for him, and this is a big prove-it year. Unfortunately, he's only played a year and a half of football under his belt. That's it. You know what I mean? So to have, this year and then after this year, you kind of give your evaluation on 2.5 years on 3 years of football, and we see what happens with him. That's it. But I'm looking for a good competition come July 26th and on. We'll be covering every day of training camp, and I'm excited. So let me know what you guys think about it. Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox mentoring him, and just if you agree with not having minicamp, and do you think it helps this team, or you think it will hurt this team by the first game of the season? You guys let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follows live. Peace out, guys. Peace.